I promise, by the end of this video, you will be smiling because the solution to this problem is very, very innovative. And obviously, it involves the XOR operator. So let us see what we can do about it. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Now, before you proceed with the video, just make sure that you are aware how the logical XOR operator actually works. Because the exact idea and the efficient solution lies upon the properties of the exclusive XOR operator. So, if you're familiar with it, you are ready. Otherwise, just look at my initial videos and get an understanding first. So, let's begin. First of all, let me quickly make sure that we are understanding the problem statement perfectly. In this problem, you need to find the XOR of numbers in a given range. For example, over here, I have the starting number as 5 and the ending number as 13. So, what you need to do is, you need to find the exclusive XOR of all of this range. So, 5 XOR, 6 XOR, 7, all the way up to 13. If you would have to do it logically, what will you do? You will try to convert all of these numbers to binary and then try to find out the logical XOR, correct? But that is the manual effort. How do you do it programmatically? How do you do it in a way such that you are not taking up order of n time? Because certainly you can do all of this in just a single scan also. You can just keep on applying the XOR operator and you will get the answer. But certainly we want something that is not so much naive. We want to find an efficient solution such that you are able to tell me the answer in just a constant time. So all of that seems too much. So before going deep into what is happening, let us try to build some of the fundamental concepts first. And when I say fundamental concepts, I am talking about understanding how the XOR operator actually works when you're trying to find from the range of 1 to n. Now, I do not expect that you will be able to find out such a pattern in an interview. So definitely it is good to have all of this understanding right now. So for example, when the value of n is 5, you have to tell me that, okay, what is the value of 1 XOR, 2 XOR, 3 all the way up to 5. Similarly, when the value of n is 8, you have to again start from 1 and then go all the way up to 8. So that is what it means when I'm finding from 1 to n. I want to know these two answers. If you would try to solve them, if you just put it in a print statement, you are gonna see that the answer to the first test case comes out to be 1. This is the XOR of all of these numbers, and the answer to the second test case will actually turn out to be 8. This is the XOR of all of these numbers. And you can quickly even test it out. Just start up a Python interpreter and do a print statement and put this entire thing in the print statement. You will get the answer. And that is the most naive approach. What I want to tell you is that sometimes all of these logical operators, they exhibit patterns that you might not even realize. What we need to do is, we need to sense some kind of a pattern that is forming. And you cannot just sense it looking at n equals to 5 or n equals to 8. We need more data around it. So over here, what I'm going to do is, I am going to look at all of these values. So for each of the values, n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 9 and 10. Surely it goes on. But let us just try to analyze these values. Basically, what does n equals to 1 mean? It means I only have the number 1. N equals to 2 means 1 XOR 2. N equals to 3 means 1 XOR 2 XOR 3. Similarly, you get the idea. N equals to 8 means 1 XOR 2 XOR all the way up to 8. That is what we are doing over here. Now, when you try to actually compute all of these values, if you try to write down these answers, you are gonna see all of these values pop up. Now again, I do not expect you that you will be able to find out all of these values in an interview. It is certainly not possible. So that is why we are learning it right now. Now that you have got all of these values, just try to analyze it. And there is a reason that I have divided it into blocks of 4. Notice what is happening over here. Whenever the value of n is 1, or the value of n is 5, or the value of n is 9, check out the answer. The answer will always be 1. Basically, what I am saying is that if n modulo 4 if this equals to 1, then your answer equals to 1. It simply means that if I take up the number n and when I do a modulo by 4, if the result is 1, then the entire XOR operations will give me the answer 1. Similarly, check out what happens when the value of n equals to 2, 6 and 10. Basically, n modulo 4 is equal to 2. What is the answer in that case? Check it out. The answer is always n plus 1. So what I'm saying is that if n modulo 4, if this value is 2, then your answer equals to n plus 1. And this will be true for every value of n. For example, if I check out n equals to 14, so 14 modulo 4 equals to 2, that means the XOR of all of these numbers will be n plus 1, and that is 15. So once again, in just a constant time, I am able to tell that, okay, what will be the XOR of all of these numbers. Now check out n equals to 3, 7, and obviously 11. What is happening over here? I am saying that if n modulo 4 equals to 3, the answer is always 0. So I am saying if n modulo 4 equals to 3, answer equals to 0. So far so good. We have determined that if the modulo value is 1, what is the answer? If the modulo value is 2, what is the answer? If the modulo value is 3, what is the answer? What are you remaining with? When a number is a perfect multiple of 4. So check out, whenever I have n equals to 4 or n equals to 8, or for example, n equals to 12, what will be the answer? The answer will be n itself. So I have my last condition also available now. If n modulo 4 equals to 0, that means if the number is perfectly divisible, the answer is always n. So what have we determined over here? If I give you any value of n, you can tell me immediately in constant time what will be the XOR of all of the numbers from 1 to n. And this is gonna actually help you out a lot. You don't have to find out all of the XORs. Programmatically, what I can say is that I can define a function XOR range, and it just takes a single parameter, that is the integer n. So based upon this value, I can write a very small function that always works in order of 1 time, a constant time. You just check out the modulo value, and based upon it, you can return whatever the answer is. Correct? And this was the pattern that I had. So now we have solved a very critical problem, that if I give you a number n, then what will be the XOR of all of the numbers from 1 all the way up to n? You have now solved this part. So can we apply this concept to solve our original problem where you had to find out the XOR of numbers in a given range? You are going to understand it in just a little while, and you are going to appreciate it so much. Let us look back at our original problem. You need to find the XOR of numbers in a given range. The value of start is 5 and the value of end is 13. So far so good. Now, for a moment, try to find out the XOR range for start minus 1. So basically what I'm trying to find out, I'm trying to find out 1 XOR, 2 XOR, 3 XOR, 4. This is what I have to find out. And I know for a fact that I can find it out in order of 1 time, correct? Because the value of start is 5, I'm just basically finding out, okay, what is the value of XOR range when n equals to 4? You can do it in constant time, correct? Now, for the next part, you want to find out, okay, what is the value of XOR range function for the value of n equals to end? So over here, n equals to 13. If you expand it out, you are basically finding out this particular value, correct? And once again, you can find it out in order of 1 time. You can just do a modulo with 4 and get the answer, correct? Now, try to think what will happen if I XOR both of these numbers. What happens if I XOR both of these expanded expressions? And that is where the property of XOR operator needs to be reminded. Any number, when you XOR it with itself, you get the number 0. So what is going to happen is all of these numbers, they are going to cancel out. And what are you remaining with? You are going to be remaining with just the XOR of this particular range. And that is what you needed, right? So notice how with just a little trick, we are able to come up at the solution. So is it safe to say that I can write down my answer will be XOR of the range of numbers from start -1, and you XOR it with the XOR of range of numbers up till end. So you're essentially XORing both of these, and that will give you the final range, and that turns out to be this. Rather, the answer to this entire thing will be 5. You can just fire up a Python interpreter and check it out. But notice how we first established a foundation. We determined that, okay, this is how a pattern looks like. And then we were able to find out a solution that works in constant time. And soon you're going to see how this solution also works in a constant time. Let us quickly look at the dry run of the code. Over here, I just have my entire function, right? You know that this function will work in a constant time, correct? Because you are just taking up a number n and returning the answer based upon the modulo values. Now, you have to write down a new function, XOR range between. And this particular function accepts two parameters, the start number and the end number. And how do you find out the answer? What do? You simply return XOR of range from start -1. So this will work in a constant time, and you XOR it with all of the XOR of range numbers up till end. So this again works in a constant time. So basically what is happening is you have two functions that are working in a constant time and you're XORing between them. So the time complexity of this entire method will just turn out to be order of 1. And the space complexity is also order of 1. So your solution cannot get faster than this. It works in a constant time and a constant space. Rather, you're not taking up any extra space or time. So naturally, this is the fastest solution that is available. I hope now you are understanding why did I say that you will be smiling at the end of this problem. The exclusive OR operator is very, very important. It allows you to do magical things in the fastest ways possible. So while going through the videos, did you face any problem? Or do you see any other patterns that you can derive with the XOR operator? It can come in very, very handy. Do tell me about it, and also tell me if you have seen any other fancy problems that can be solved with a neat little trick. Tell me everything in the comment section below, and I would love to discuss all of it with you. As a reminder, if you found this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This really keeps me motivated and I can make more such videos. Also, a huge shout out to all of the members who support my channel. You guys really keep me going. As a member, you do get priority reply to your comments and early access to new videos as well. Also, now you can schedule a one-to-one session with me and we can discuss about almost anything. Stay tuned for my upcoming video. Until then, see ya.